Is your life being plagued by a prophecy that needs deciphering? We can figure it out. Our...
If you find yourself falling a mile down a cliff, we can help you.
We can ensure that a shoulder being dislodged from its socket is the worst that happens.
You can't sue us, though.
4 Guys, Ventures, and Vibes. We get down to business.
That's a good slogan, man.
I thought that was pretty good.
I do like the added
so
slogan
good at
of "You can't sue us."
You can't sue us.
4 Guys, Adventures, and Vibes. Plausible deniability is included.
With every purchase. Oh, guys.
Yeah, man.
You really shouldn't leave all this food out, man.
Oh,
4 Guys, Ventures, and Vibes. You need
why-
parties? You need party guests?
Why are you
I'm just
eating all the
saying.
snacks off the kids' table? Like, those are...
Just because it's a small table don't mean it's a kid's table.
I mean,
I
it's
do
small
agree.
for
I
me.
don't see any kids present.
Yeah, wait, Owlin's got it, right? There's no kids present. Can't be a kid's
all right,
table
guys,
if there's
let's
no
try and
kids.
wrap it up. Let's try and land the plane.
Okay.
4 Guys, Ventures, and Vibes. We'll vibe with you.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Chat, you tell us. Would you purchase those services? How do you feel like that went?
Chat, if you purchase those services, I'm worried for your health.
What
Judgment.
do you mean? This is a perfectly reasonable purchase.
Yeah.
A purchasey, reasonable purchase.
Thank you, Big Steel.
4 Guys, Adventures,
Ayo.
and Vibes. We rely and trust our financial backers.
Wait, you said buy
Our money
'em all.
people.
Wait, what does that mean? Does that mean we're like indenturing ourselves out?
Isn't that what
Is that-
we're already doing?
No.
Is that
we're
outdenturing?
We're giving our labor out, not our entire lives for temporary purposes.
Livelihood.
But you get more money.
4 Guys, Adventures, and Vibes. You're welcome to eat peanuts while you wait for us to finish the job.
Yeah, that's a good slogan to try next time.
Peanuts aren't included though.
That's good.
Well, you're welcome to eat them if you have them, but peanuts not supplied on site.
I think what I'm hearing from Josh is, okay, let's step out of the magic circle, and now we're into D&D mode.
Now we should just briefly introduce ourselves. We have at least one new person with us. Welcome to Big Steel on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Also, it sounds like Big Steel's on YouTube. So if you're looking for something new to check out, maybe you should go check out Big Steel.
He's gonna buy our company, then buy Elon Musk, then buy Shrek, and then the world. So
Wow. Big Steel
It's a
has
solid business plan.
Big Steel has no idea what's about to happen, I think, but there's just about to be a really, really spot on tie-in with what Big Steel just said.
with Shrek.
With Shrek.
right?
Shrek is the tie-in.
Yeah.
Big Steel needs to rename his account to Big Dreams.
Yeah, but before
He's
any of
Adam.
that, we need some big introductions, and we're gonna start at Matt, come down the line, and end with me.
All right.
That's it. All right, Wash, your turn.
Hey, I'm Wash. I play Jebediah Peppermint, the crazy little mole. Off to you, Jake.
Hi, I'm Jake. I play Alan Woodrear, the Azamar Barbarian. Whoa, I'm doing a weird noise. Grant, whoa, it's Trevor's turn.
Hi, I'm Trevor. I play Zothkug, the Orc Cleric. And no fun fact for you guys today. Woo! I'm making a funny noise too on you, Josh.
I'm Josh, and I'm the DM. Whoa!
So who am I?
His name is my name too.
Like the Friends episode where Joey finds his hand twin. It's like, no, we're gonna be famous. We have the same hand. Well, anyway, now that we got all that out of the way.
Wait.
Oh, okay.
I should say translate my weird sounds as I am Matt. I play Fox, the changeling rogue. And I'm not, in fact, Josh. Did I already say that I'm Matt?
It's really important to Matt that you know that he's Matt. I'm Josh. I'm the Wing Badger Game Master. I'm these four humans as God for the evening. And that nothing could possibly go wrong with that arrangement. I can't see anything that could possibly go bad for them.
Nothing.
And yeah, I'm going to jump right into our adventure for the evening because we've got a lot of things happening all at once. And we're going to start with one Jebediah Peppermint. And a lot of exposition. Under the careful ministrations of the Myconid, Jeb, you wake up feeling healthy, well-rested, and powerful. It turns out that in all that time that Ya's been away from your recent adventures, he's been wandering around Tumbleweb, visiting apothecaries to see how plants can continue to advance the well-being of everybody after they finish their life cycle, and he is now an enthusiastically novice chemist. Avery, concerned for your well-being, has been fetching different herbs and plants for Ya so that he can spend his time attempting to make different salves and medicines and things to help you heal. It's been about a full day since you got back and you were sick and whatnot, and you're feeling great. Avery's also got a closed for renovation sign placed on the front door. The reason for that becomes instantly apparent because it turns out you've awoken to a busy hive of activity in the Twilight Fox Inn. Your friends are nowhere to be seen, but Elaine Mollusk and Elliot Orchid, who after 2 days is looking much improved himself, have cleared out the common room, and they seem to have half assembled a bunch of stuff. There's a variety of strange tools and machines and whatnot scattered across the ground, as well as an absolute minefield of hardware components and also a handful of small cubes that pulse like a gentle orange. Everything else seems to be connected back to these cubes by strange ropes of boiled leather. Ah, you're awake. Perfect. I think there's a way we can help your companions, Elaine said to you. When you tried to get her to elaborate, she gave you many different variations on, no time, we'll talk on the way. We'll talk on the way. Having Franklin Webb, your new hire, distract the deputies at the front of the estate merely by driving past in your logo-bearing cipher truck, you and Elaine are able to slip inside, and together you climb to the top floor of her home, where you recently had a fight with her autognome, like a security sort of robot deal, a patrolling drone, if you will. The space has been mostly repaired since your antics by the same autognome, who immediately tries to attack you and doesn't let up until Elaine deactivates him with a wave of a strange red gem that she pulls from one of two pockets at the front of her brown halter neck dress. She then leads you to that same strange window that you had been examining on your last visit. It's a window size and shape, but it's all foggy inside, and you can't see. It's like a mixture of frost and actual moving fog billowing through the window itself. And after about 30 minutes of tinkering with the absolute mess you made of her wall and the hot wire connecting it back to a cipher, she is able to reactivate what turns out to be her scry glass. Yeah, I use it to check in with department heads in other nations, she explains, but you might be able to use it to check in on your friends. But in order for this to work, you need some kind of connection to them, a portrait or one of their possessions, or maybe a little bit of one of them, like a hair. What do you got?
Fox has long hair. Can I make a check of some kind to see if there is some sort of long hair that is entangled on Jeb's body somewhere? Because
sure.
You know that happens with long hair.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, I'll make a long hair check.
Yeah, long hair check, 80s check.
Literally.
Yeah.
I rolled an 18. So
you've got a fox hair.
I was gonna say, if that's investigation, that's a 24.
Yeah, you've got a fox hair.
Will this work? I got a little. And he Jeb recognizes the color and he pulls it from his clothes and just keeps pulling it and keeps pulling it. Oh yeah, no, this is definitely one of Fox's.
Okay, well then what you need to do is put that right in here, and just above the window there is a little slot in the wall which she pushes aside for you to put in spell components. So you put the hair in there, she closes it, and then she takes an ungodly stack of wingle digits. You realize just as she's using them that it's probably 10 greater wingle digits in this stack that she shoves into the depression for the cipher. And you see kind of like a white noise staticky material in front of you, kind of blocking your vision. And then you see what Matt sees. Fox, our rogue. So let's jump over to Fox. Fox, you are in a bend in the tunnel, and you're basically it's an underground tunnel. They're funneling water through it, but because it doubles back, there's an air pocket at the top of that C bend, and so you are like poked out the top so you can breathe, and you have reconnected with your mermaid friend Willowtail, who you grew up with, lost connection with, and have just now found. And that's the current situation. I believe when we left, you were hugging, so now you've hugged.
Hugged. Sorry, DM, just give me a second. I have to I was in a very frantic mental state, if I remember correctly. So let me just get back into that.
Yeah.
5,
So you're
4.
afraid of heights, so we dropped you 6 stories, and then you were in the spooky dark room with the table. You were all by yourself, and then you found Shale, and Shale was like, "Look, that's the aboleth," and the aboleth itself swam past, and then you were speaking to a dead spirit in the form of a willow wells. And that's how you ended up here.
My God, you go by West now?
No, it's a code name. It's so that. Yeah.
Sorry. Yes. No, that makes a lot more sense. Okay.
What are you doing here? I thought your plan was to not get involved in adventures again. Wasn't that why you left when you stormed off?
What is your plan?
What do you mean, what is my plan?
Do you know what you were doing?
Of course I know what I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out how many soldiers are in this army, and also how many more soldiers they're planning to construct before they do whatever it is that comes next.
I'm gonna be honest, because I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I just fell out of the roof, the sky, whatever this would be, and I landed. I went up on a table. It was a really big table. And I met my man again. How you doing back there? You swimming okay?
Shale has surfaced behind you, but he is not participating in the conversation. He's kind of frozen in place, like he can't believe that he found West, and he also is but where do we go next?
He's doing okay. Just a lot's happened. Okay, recently. I didn't think I'd find you alive.
Well, I didn't think I'd ever see you again.
Thought you were dead.
I wasn't dead. No, I all I did was join the tribe's militia. I didn't die.
And I saw a bunch
was
of
busy.
dead mermaid in the rivers and then Underdark and.
Well, yes. Okay, I understand what you're saying. You saw some dead people, but I was not one of them.
I couldn't recognize who they were. They were chunks of dead people.
Oh yeah, that was probably East. By the way, East didn't make it. She says to Shale. Shale finally recovers. But East led us here. East was back there. East directed us to here. Where East? And he spins around looking for East, who led you down here. Did you see where she went, Fox?
Can I roll? I'll purposely put it on disadvantage to try to remember that, because I'm gonna be honest right now. I don't think I'm in any mental state to remember shit.
Sure.
Volunteer the disadvantage for ultimate role play. And that would be perception?
Yes, that'd be perception to see where she went.
Okay, well in that case, it's a flat 10.
No, you have no idea where she went. She was there. She was leading you. You followed her down here. You surfaced, and she's gone now.
I don't. It's not one of those other willow whatevers, right? Where's the other one?
No, the will-o-wisps are small glowing lights when they appear
can.
at all. They can turn invisible, so but they don't take like corporeal forms.
But that was like you just telling me we saw a ghost? Is that what you're telling me right now?
No, I don't think we did see a ghost. I think we saw a living being. I just don't know where she went.
So west. Why do you think east is dead? Let's start. You know what? Yes, we're gonna figure this all out. As I'm treading
And as
water
you-
in the
yeah.
freezing cold.
Yeah. As you sit down to begin diving through the facts, meanwhile, not too far away, the other two of you, Owlin and Zothkug, you have made it to the bottom of the well, and you are also standing with Shale, who was excited to see you and was like, "Oh, great, you're also here. Like, let's go find your friend. We're gonna figure out what's going on." Ahead of you stretches basically a long tunnel. So like the well is fed by a waterfall. So waterfall is crashing down at the center. And then from that waterfall, there is a small river about 5 feet wide that's leading away from you. It's the only way to go. So it doesn't matter what direction, but in case you're the kind of person who cares, it's going south. And to each side of it, there's about a 2, maybe 3 foot wide ledge that you can walk on. So you can either walk on the ledge or you can walk in the water, which is like shin high. But the water is super duper cold. So if you're going to walk in the water, you're going to have to make a constitution save against the freezing cold. That's basically what you're looking at right now. All right. I think we got to go deeper. Yeah.
Did you leave like last night? Like, how did you only make it this far?
Well, I was scouting out the different entrances. You know, you can get down here from both wells, but the south well that I tried to come through first, it doesn't connect to anything. So I think only this one must connect to the actual lair. So then I had to climb back out of there. And then there was a bunch of, down in the south, like near Elaine Mollusk's estate, there was a bunch of deputy activity. Like a bunch of different people were kind of looking around and trying to catch suspicious stuff. I don't know what's going on up there. But anyway, so I had to make my way across town. I sent my serval off to let you guys know what was happening because like hiding a giant cat is not as easy as hiding a halfling in a dark cloak. And then I came over here and I had made my way down. I've poked out just a little bit into this tunnel here. It stretches on for a really long way. So I came back here to basically get some light, get some water, and rest a little bit. And I had just woken up maybe an hour before you got here. And then I was about to go back into the tunnel and see if I can find West.
That was out of character. That was an extremely detailed response that kind of felt overly detailed. Can Alan roll whatever the heck it is?
Insight?
Insight.
Sure.
Oh,
17.
He seems legit.
Okay. Alan is like, I guess that does make sense. Well,
Man,
if you're
let's,
ready to
lead the
venture
way.
in, we may as well now. I don't want to waste any time.
Then let's do it.
You gotta go save Fox, man.
Who wants to go first? Do you want me to go first? Do you want to go first?
If Shale's
thought you
already
were
been
gonna
down
go
this way,
first.
Shale should go first.
I haven't gone very far this way, but we can at least walk in this direction.
You seem much more equipped to handle dark tunnels.
He is he's walking ahead of you then. What's the marching order here? We've got Shale, who's behind him.
Zoth.
Okay, and Alan bringing up the rear.
Sure.
Great. So you are heading down. It's also like order of tallness, I think. I think Alan's just a little bit taller than Zoth.
There you go.
So, and you all have dark vision, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, I believe I do.
So I don't need to pretend you can't see.
Yep. I do.
Okay, so you're walking down this tunnel. It stretches on further than your dark vision can reach. So even if you have dark vision 120, it still is further than that dark vision can reach. It seems like a naturally eroded tunnel that you're heading down. But the ground is slick and grimy and kind of mucky like it was at Dig Site 6. And there's sort of like climbing up the walls is like, you know, the same kind of like slime or goo or whatever you want to call it. You can also see there's, you know, a little bit of it on the ceilings. It's just a real grimy, cold place to be. And as you begin walking down the tunnel towards whatever is ahead of you, a chill wind starts to pick up. And it's not like a normal wind that you've experienced. It's like a single constant force that's blowing from the center, like from whatever's ahead of you back towards the entrance you came from. And the further you walk, the stronger the force becomes until eventually you guys are going to need to make me some constitution saves versus level of temporary exhaustion related to the cold.
There's been a lot of exhaustion related
You're
things
in.
happening
You
recently.
said a
Yeah.
con save?
Yes, it's because you're all
Dang.
in the cold.
9.
Temperature related damages are
18.
okay. Alan, you have 1 level of temporary exhaustion related to the cold, which makes sense since you're the one who's like still not wearing pants, as far as I know. So it's pretty darn cold. If you find a way to warm up, then you will no longer have this.
Okay.
And that's the current state of things. Okay, so you continue walking forwards until it's not long before the drip, drip, drip of kind of the different, as more and more slime is coating the walls and the ceilings, you begin to hear it plopping down onto the surface of the water at your feet and also onto the kind of stone ledges to the sides of it. And the ledges you're noticing are getting steadily narrower. They haven't forced you into the water yet, but they're getting narrower and narrower and narrower. Until at one point you are halted by Shale, who says, look up there. And he points up, and you can see the whole roof is coated in slime. But he points out that section of slime that you're looking at right there, it's a green slime. It's an acidic, almost sentient creature. It's like an ooze, and if you walk underneath it, it's going to drop onto you and attack you. These creatures are very common in the Underdark and in the tunnels and the things that the Grey Watch patrol. It's got basically its own blind sight. Like I said, it's somewhat sentient, and so it probably already knows we're here because we're within the range of its senses. We're going to need to be really careful to avoid it. There are a couple ways we can do this. The first way we can do it is we can try and just run past and literally get by before it can detach itself from the ceiling. That'll probably work for one of us. But for the others, we may wind up needing to either kind of get creative in how we hug the wall or find some way to like bottle it or capture it or I don't know, something like that to get by.
How big is it? How many square feet of it is it?
It covers a 5-foot square, but
Okay.
that's still most of the width of the tunnel that you're in. Your tunnel's basically a 5-foot wide river with like 2-3-foot ledges. So it's centered over the river. So you can try and get around it on the ledges if you can compress your whole body into the 3-foot space that's there, which should be possible.
I think we should try the ledges, man.
All
Yeah,
right.
I think that may be the best option at this moment. Also, is there a chance that this green slime is somehow ensnared by the aboleth if it's existing kind of within this muck?
I suppose it's possible. It would make a decent defense.
Interesting.
Let's see how we do. Shale goes ahead of you and tries to like basically get past it. His foot slips on the ledge, and so right as a chunk of the
Shale.
slime detaches itself from the ceiling, he slips forward into the water and gets hit like on the back of his shoulder, and it eats right through his cloak and like into some of his shoulder before it
Holy
finally like
crap.
fizzles out. And he takes 11 points of damage.
Oh,
And he just like, ooh, that's what I was talking about. Try not to have that happen to you. And he like, catches his balance and kind of crawls past it and gets to the other side.
Are we safe?
Uh,
If it's already dropped down, or did it only like a drip a little?
No, it
drip
like
down?
drops little chunks of the ooze
Oh, interesting.
towards you. So Zoth, you're next. You can make a dexterity save to attempt to get by it and like.
hey, Shale, man. Does it eat through shields?
Let me see if it does that. I'm reading about it.
I just
You're
want to
fine.
say I heard a dice roll, and so when you said "let me see about that," I thought you were like, "Let's find out."
No, that was
Like,
for Shale's knowledge.
Gotcha.
Yes, but probably not enough to eat through it if you're just quick jumping underneath. It may damage your shield or sword or whatever, though. It can eat
Right.
through wood and steel eventually.
So Zoth, instead of trying to like scoot up against the ledge, being like a slightly bigger dude, he's gonna pull out a shield that he never uses and just hold it above his head and just run under it.
Okay. You run underneath it, and the acid attacks. The acid hits. Your shield takes 8 damage. I can't remember how much wooden shield HP is off the top of my head. Ba, ba, ba.
Does Zoth know either?
No.
Yeah, I'm looking right now.
I believe the way that it mechanically that it works is that it removes the amount of AC protection until it's like degraded. So like it becomes like if it gives 2 plus 2 AC, it's now just like a +1 AC.
I see. So like hit point damage just removes AC, and when the AC bonus is 0, the thing is broken.
Yeah, so the armor becomes ineffective.
Okay, so then your wooden shield literally like melts off of your arm.
Okay.
And I guess in that case, you actually take 3 points of damage because that's what's left over after it's done defending you. So, but it's just like a slight, like a, it like sizzles off a little bit of orc hair. It's not like it doesn't eat into your shoulder like his did.
Belly, Jeb is like scrying using some magic to see what specifically Matt's character is doing, what Fox is doing. He's up on the surface.
Yes, he's in Elaine Mollusk's state.
Yep.
All right, Alan, your turn.
Alan is
He says as he shakes the melting shield
Exactly.
off of his forearm.
Alan is gonna, and he like kind of looks at the side where Shale tried to kind of dexterously make it through, and he kind of just knows that he does not have the light-footedness to do that. So Alan is going to like step back, kind of like into like a sprinter stance, and kind of go like, and then just try to run through as fast as he can.
Okay, so you're just gonna try and make it miss you, basically. I'll have it roll the attack with disadvantage, because you're just like sprinting as fast as you can. And boy, that disadvantage saved you, because one of them was a nat 20. So
Let's go.
you run through, and it is you make it through before it's able to drop on you. It doesn't hit you.
Sweet.
So you're on the other side of it now. And from the other side, you realize that there's like a small stone platform that's been laid across the river where all of you are now standing. It's like a very deliberate 15-foot stretch of hallway where there's like safe ground to stand on and everything like that. Shale says, my shoulder. Can someone else go first for a little bit?
Alan
Let me
says,
help with that. I'm going to use one of my healing kits on him.
Okay. You use a healing kit on him, which that's what, 2 HP? Is that what we said?
No, it doesn't usually. It usually just stabilizes, but because of the feature.
Oh, that's right. You have a feature for it. What does your feature do?
I'm trying to find it.
I think it does something to have to do with their level or something.
When I use no, not that part. As an action, you can spend 1 use of a healer's kit to tend to a creature and restore 1d6 plus 4 hit points to it, plus additional hit points equal to the creature's maximum number of hit die. The creature can't regain hit points from this feat again until it finishes a short or a long rest.
Okay.
So I will roll the 1d6 and 4, and then you add its hit die.
Great.
Yeah.
Yee.
I got a 5 on the d6 plus 4 is 9, and then whatever his hit die is.
Nice. So you basically undid all that damage. So like you are able to like basically bind up his shoulder, so it's you put like a salve on it and you wrap it up and whatever. He goes, "Thanks, man. That was great. Let's
That's what I'm here for, man.
let's keep going." Yeah. And does one of you want to go forward, or do you want him to be in the front still? You're now further than he's been.
Arlen can get in front.
Okay.
He'll suggest that like it may be best since you should of this cavern somewhat, or at least you've been farther than we have. If you want to stay in the middle, we can and Zoth can bring up the rear.
Sure. So then roll a perception to spot dangerous things ahead of you.
Or friendly things.
Yeah, or friendly things. To spot things.
17.
All right. I'm going
Can I also
to...
be on the lookout.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to clear the tension pool, which has that one from belly and then another from time up till now.
I got 14.
Okay. Sorry, now I have to roll something else. Okay. Remind me what yours was, Alan?
17.
Okay. You are the only one who notices that about halfway across this 15-foot stretch of stone before the river continues, there's just like a faint shimmer in the air, almost like heat waves, or if you've ever seen like a mirage in the desert or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that.
Heat wave's been faking me out. Alan will like stop the group and then try to point it out.
Yeah. What? I don't think I've seen anything like that before, Shale says. Do you recognize it?
Can Alan roll something to see if he can, like Arcana?
Are you trained in Arcana?
No, I don't have proficiency in it, but I have a decent bonus.
You can roll with disadvantage. Okay, well, yeah, Zoth is trained in Arcana. Zoth, you roll it.
Okay. Ba-doop-ba-doop-doo. Oh, that's only a 10.
Alan only got a 5.
Yeah, neither of you is fully sure what it is, although you're both confident that it's some kind of magic thing. Like, it's definitely not natural, you know?
Is there a pebble around on the ground?
Sure.
I'm going to throw a pebble at it. See what
Okay.
happens.
The pebble soars right through it and clatters on the other side.
Oh no, my cousin.
Oh, yeah, let's cut back to Jebediah for a second here. Elaine says to you, now here's the crazy part. Check this out. And she shows you embedded into the wall, which it looks like it's part of the frame of the glass that you're scrying through. There's like a series of like gemstones, but one of them, she like flips it open and it's like a little hidden keystone. And inside you can put in some ciphers, and she says you can use this for sending. So you can actually talk to the people down there in brief messages. So if you wanted to like check in on your friends or whatever, if you've got some way to connect to them, we could reposition this and talk to them. Or if you want to talk to Fox or whatever you'd like to do.
Sure. I'll he's like, you when she pulled that huge stack of Wingle digits, was it's like from a box or something like around there that
Yeah.
she had readily available?
Yeah.
Jeb will just reach in there and grab the appropriate amount of Wingle digits and pop it in there, and he's going to cast sending to Fox.
Okay. So we'll cut back to
That's
Fox.
who he's been watching. That's who he's been watching from,
Yeah.
this point in time.
So we'll cut back to Fox.
Hey Fox, I just woke up and everybody was gone. Where you at, man? Do you need help? And how can I get to you?
Shale, do we need help?
I mean, it'd be nice to have some help getting out. Do you know a way out west? West goes, I think I can get us out.
Can you guys hear the voice, or am I the only one who can hear the Jeb's voice? Right
That's
now?
what comes back
the
to
only
you.
one.
Yeah, Jeb, that's what comes back to you.
I grab another stack of Wingle digits and just like plunge it in there. Hey, pup, you're the only one that can hear me. So.
Oh, great! I really hope this is Shale. I have to warn you now. I might be hallucinating.
Where are the other guys?
I'm sorry, Wes. I'm sorry. So there's a voice talking into my head that sounds a lot like our companion Jeb. And just in case this is somehow real, I'm going to respond, and it's gonna look crazy. Okay. I don't know, Jeb, where they're at, and I don't know necessarily where I'm at. I am here with Shale and West, which is evidently her code name. Can I call you by your real name? Is that allowed?
Yeah, yes, you can call me my real name.
All right, this is Willow. Okay.
Nice to meet you, Willow says to nobody.
I'm glad you're handling this, because I'm having a really hard time.
He's like, I am the actual Jeb. We robbed a bank together. Just kidding. Wink. Where are you?
I can't tell if you're. I mean, that's pretty good if it's my own brain, but just in case it's not. Whew. My brain's making jokes to me, Wes.
I think that's 25 words. I think that's what you get. Only 25 words at a time go through the spell.
I have no idea.
Okay. I'm so sorry, Elaine. And he just like grabs another stack.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Listen,
no, I.
Pup, listen. This
Yes?
is important. Are you in danger? Where are you? I'm here to help. Where are the others?
Okay. I'll answer that in reverse. I don't know. We probably do need help. Probably not immediately in a lot of danger, but we're in.
Okay, cut off. Cut off it, but we're in.
Okay.
But we're-
He obviously has no idea what's going. Like Jeb is detecting frazzled. So I think the best way to help Fox is to try to find the other guys. Do you want to swap scenes, or can I try to
No,
like
let's
scry on?
Yeah, let's scry on the other guys. We just need something that connects you to them. You know, a likeness or a piece of them or what. You know, do you have anything like that? A possession of theirs,
Oh.
maybe?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Zolt's right foot.
They have, yeah.
No, I don't think I do.
You can try it without the connection. There's just a chance that it won't work.
Yeah, we'll just have to.
It's only 10,000 Wingle digits. Let's give it a shot. And she pulls out a stack of 10 greater Wingle digits, shoves them back into the thing, and goes, now focus really, really hard on one of your companions that you want to connect to. Who are you focusing on?
Okay, I need somebody. I need somebody who is good with being straight to the point. He's like thinking back to Fox and like, you know, the lots of words to describe a very simple concept. He's like, I need somebody clinical, somebody accurate. Let's go with Alan.
Okay, so you're going to focus on Owlin as hard as you can. Tell me the mental picture you have of Owlin. Jake, you're going to tell us how close it is to what Owlin looks like right now, and I'm going to use that to determine the DC of the...
And what did we just do downstairs? We're heading in from okay.
Not like the position he's in. I mean like his clothing and his appearance and his height and all. You know, I want a description of Owlin that Jeb remembers.
Sure. I'm going to Jeb is going to pull back into his memories and remember the time when we were traveling with that band of mercenaries. You know, like there were other soldiers, and it was like the first time Jeb got to see Owlin with his old war buddies and see him in like his natural environment. And that time when Jeb kind of like talked to them and they kind of connected a little bit. So really more, instead of more focusing on his clothes and stuff, just like focusing on Owlin's face and his mannerisms and like Owlin himself.
Describe his face and his mannerisms. I want to know what you see.
Yeah, long flowing hair, a jaw that can change a jawline that can change the world. A stoic nose, deep cerulean eyes that you can get lost in, and the beefiest buttocks that you possibly describe.
Jake, how close is that to Owlin?
That's 100% accurate. Yeah. Actually, wait, what color did you say his eyes were?
I said blue.
They're actually gold.
All right.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use that to take it from an 8 to a 10. It was going to start at 8, but we got one thing wrong. So the DC to beat is 10. It's a wisdom save, or a wisdom check, I should say.
All right. I rolled a 16 plus 0 for wisdom.
Okay, a 16 plus a 0 for wisdom, so you rolled high enough. You are basically an invisible sensor within 10 feet of Owlin. You can see and hear through the sensor as if you were there. The sensor moves with Owlin, remaining within 10 feet for the duration. And that's your current circumstance. Obviously, you can't speak through it, but you have sending for that. So you can now see... Go ahead.
This is kind of like Stranger Things, right? Where it's just like this black inky void, and it's just Owlin right there. Like I can't see any like of his surroundings or anything like that. It's like just him, isolated from the world, right?
No, you can see and hear through the sensor as if you were there, is the description of this spell. So you are basically within 10 feet of Alan, in the confines of this tunnel. You're probably closer, but it's kind of like a third-person video game is the way I picture it, where you're like centered behind his shoulders looking forward is kind of how I imagined it working.
Okay. So that means that I would have been able to see West and Shale next to Fox. Correct?
Well, since you're asking, you would have been able to see them, but you didn't.
Interesting. Okay. And then with Owlin, I do see.
You do see Shale. Yep, and you see the shimmery wall in front of him, and that he's in like a rock tunnel thing.
Okay. Hey, I'm stack of Wingle digits. I'm gonna cast Sending, on Owlin. Hey, Owlin. This is Jeb. I'm casting a spell that lets me talk a lot further. Fox is in trouble, and I don't know where. And it cuts off.
Alan will how does Alan know how sending works? Like, does Alan's response begin with the next words he says after he receives it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And he knows that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
This is a spell they probably use in the military.
Okay. We are in the tunnels beneath the South Well. We are attempting to find Fox and rescue him again with Shale. Shale scouted ahead with Shale.
That's 25.
Okay, yep. And then Alan will turn to the rest of the party and say, I believe Jeb is sending us a sending spell to us to communicate. From where I'm not sure, but I would guess it has something to do with Elaine Mollusk.
That makes sense. I'm familiar with the sending spell. I used it on Fox earlier.
Could you use it now?
To Fox?
Yes, so we could find him.
I only got 2 casts of it.
And did you already use them?
Not yet. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, okay.
In case we want to save them for another time, or
Well,
we need,
Alan will turn to Shale and be like, I believe now would be a good time to use them, as we don't know exactly where he is.
Yeah, I mean, if he knows where he is, you described it as he was just teleported out of a room, right?
I guess.
that's the case, then he probably doesn't know where he is.
That may be the case, and in fact, then that may not.
I think it likely that if he's been captured by the Aboleth, he's down here somewhere.
Fair. Well, we should trek on, and if
Do you think this wall is
Jeb,
Do I think what?
the shimmering is the Aboleth doing?
I'm certain of it.
yes, I would think so. If Jeb communicates with us again, we may have a chance to ask him whether he's communicated with Fox.
So Jeb, you've been hearing and seeing all this.
Okay, yeah, because I can
Right, because you can see over his shoulder. So as soon as he turns to talk to them, you can see his friends as well.
Yeah.
Can we? Should we wait for Jeb? He knows where we are.
I'm not sure. How do we know he knows where we?
You just told him, didn't you?
I need to know where you are so I can get there and help. Also, Fox thinks he's with Shale and his mermaid friend.
Alan will turn to Shale.
But I don't see them. I just see Fox talking.
Alan,
Have
A good
Will-
time, having a good time.
think-
Alan will kind of jump and look at Shale.
I
Uh-huh.
think we
And-
all need to
but,
be
like,
bopped on the head.
He knows that if he can't see that version of Shale, plus he kind of insight checked Shale earlier and felt like he was telling the truth about earlier, so he's not suspicious of this Shale. That is worrying. Perhaps behind this shimmer, and Alan will kind of gesture. He doesn't know for sure that Jeb can see, but he's just kind of like, it's just like, hopefully he can, maybe he can.
I bet this looks
He's-
really funny to your two companions.
Yeah.
Just like
Perhaps behind this shimmer is an illusion of some kind. That, should we wait for you? We are under the south tunnel. Under the south well. Alan will turn to Shale, kind of like hoping
North
for
well.
more direction.
the North
North
well.
well. And then kind of look at Shale like, is there more that I should tell him?
There's only one way to
The-
go. Like
under the North
ooze.
well.
yeah, we're
the
under the North.
ooze.
There's only one path.
Tell them about the ooze.
Oh yeah, there's an
There-
ooze.
There is an ooze to dodge.
I think I lost count of your words.
Okay.
I think in a legitimate, not making it up way, I think there is as far as
Yeah.
that sentence got. I think that's where we hit 25 words.
Jeb would have heard it though through the. Through
Oh,
the
you're right, because he's
thing,
scrying too.
but- Yeah.
Okay.
It's like you had it in stereo and then you lost one headphone. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. One last slab of message
Mhm.
or sending towards Owlin.
yeah.
I'm coming to you.
Bum bum
Get
bum.
out.
Should I bring anything? I'm going to check in on Fox one more time before I do.
Bring anything to help evade or kill or counteract Aboleth magic.
Is that out loud, Alan?
Yes.
Tell him to bring more healing kits too.
And more healing kits too.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, so can you drop by the Five Guys on the way here?
Okay. I'm going to try and cast Scry one more time on Fox. I presume it doesn't use up the hair. It just uses it as a
Right. The
like
focus
a
is
focal
you just
point.
have to switch out
Yeah.
what the focus is. So you pulled it out when you scried on Owl, and now you can put it back in.
Okay. So I'm gonna ascribe back to Fox. What do I see Fox doing? Do you want to do a
Fox.
scene with him?
Yeah, sure. So we'll jump back down to Fox, but first I'm going to describe this time exactly what you see. You see the faintest. You have dark vision, so you can see the faintest outline of Fox, and you can see that he's surrounded by like kind of dusty darkness, but he seems to be like kind of curled up on the floor of a cell. You don't see a way in or a way out, and you don't see any light coming into the cell. But to you, he appears to be curled up, like almost like a cat, like sleeping on the floor. Fox, you are in the bend of the tunnel with
What?
yeah, you're in the bend of the tunnel with Willow, your mermaid friend, and Shale. And Willow is saying, I think there's a way out. And I think if we're quick, I think we might be able to get there before your friends get hurt.
Yeah, I'll follow your lead.
Okay, great. Let's go this way. And she immediately starts swimming down the tunnel. As she begins swimming down the tunnel, and Fox follows her, which, Jeb, you don't see what he's seeing, so you don't see the tunnel or anything, but you do see that Fox begins crawling forwards, like into, you can't see where he's going, because it's too dark for you to make out. You thought it was
Right.
walls around him, but he's crawling somewhere. He's crawling forward to something.
He's crawling in my skin.
Willow leads you through this tunnel. It's only a few minutes. You don't have to worry about holding your breath for too long. But she leads you to the base of it, and she goes, they're using this to cool some machinery, and you're now at a grill where the water is kind of pouring through the grill, and it's landing on top of some kind of artificer's construction that seems to be really hot because the water immediately is turning to steam. And then underneath, there's another channel that's catching the water, and it's being pumped out of the room. She says, but if you look over on that side, there's a way to get out. It's connected to where they're bringing in whatever it is they're working on. And as she points further in the room, you can now see that beyond this like machine room or boiler room or whatever it is, beyond this, there is a massive warehouse-sized cavern, perfectly square, perfectly lit as if by the daylight spell, with assembly line machinery in it. And the assembly line, it's like conveyor belts covered in different mechanical pieces and other equipment. And by the end of the assembly line, they have put together what look like large hunting dogs, except that they're fully machine, is coming off of one assembly line, and the other one is coming off with humanoids of some kind. And they're covered in spikes, and they have different weapons that are being affixed and attached to them. I think this is where they're building their army. But first, to get you out, look over on the far end, and just beyond all those conveyor belts, you can see like a massive garage door where they're assumedly bringing in the raw materials. Like it's like a loading dock, like components are coming in. I don't do land, so I don't know where that leads, but that's where everything comes from. So I think if you go out that exit, you should be able to find your way back to the surface.
What about you, Willow?
I'm doing my job. You are a casualty of your situation.
Whoa. All right, I may be a casualty of my situation, but I'm not here out of a coincidence.
Yeah, but you didn't want anything to do with all this stuff. You always wanted out of all that. This literally relates to the gods. You wanted out of all that stuff.
Willow, we haven't talked in a long time. Okay? You're not wrong, okay? And I'm still questioning why I'm doing a lot of the things I've been doing, but
Fox is speaking aloud, Jeb, just to no one.
I've already I can't give up on the people I'm with. It is important, and it is with the gods. Gods damn it. It's not what I wanted, but it's where I ended up, and I'm not gonna just back out of it now. I'm way too deep in this, Willow. I can't.
Well, maybe I can lead them back to you. What if we leave a sign so that they don't, because if they're as close to you as you say they are, they're going to come looking for you. So if we leave some kind of sign for them, maybe they won't come down here. Maybe they'll meet you at, wherever you're trying to meet. I
mean, but where would they even find me? Like, how would they know where to look?
Well, I don't know. And she turns to Shale. How did you find him? Oh yeah, I know his friends. I left them a note before I came down here. I sent it, so they know at least the general gist of where I'm going. She goes, okay, so then they probably know you're down here, right? That's to you, Fox.
I guess. Sorry, yeah, no, I'm thinking. If that's true, then if I leave, what if they're already down here?
I see what you're saying. Well, we can check. There's more of these tunnels. Like they have other machines that need cooling. We might be able to look in the different parts of the space here. What do you think?
Wait. If I was captured by the Aboleth, why was I set free? How was I set free? Did one of you do that?
Didn't the glowing blue light set you free? The little spirit?
Willow's wisps? Those things? Is that what they can do? Can they interact with things?
I mean, they can in some very few circumstances interact with things, but I was down here. I didn't see it happen.
Shale, do you know anything about this?
Nah, dude, I didn't find you.
What if me escaping is a part of the Aboleth's plan?
You have disbelieved enough and believably so to roll a wisdom save.
I was about to be like, whoa, let's fail this save. But we're going to turn that back and say, woo, let's pass this save at a 19.
Did you roll with your cold disadvantage?
Yes. Because the other roll was a nat 20.
Heyo!
Oh,
Nice.
Heyo.
So you're looking at her and she says, why are you becoming so disbelieving all of a sudden?
What exactly is going on with
You I'm trying to explain to
you? You need to stay here.
I'm trying to help you get back to your friend.
It's going to, and then everything vanishes.
Oh,
Stay where you are.
But suddenly your mind is free and you are awake and aware. Jeb, you see Fox just curl up and start shrieking and crying and whatever it is that's going on. You still have no idea where he is, no indication of what's going on, but he's like real freaked out.
Cast sending.
Uh-huh.
Hey, pup. It's okay.
oh God.
It's
All right.
okay.
No, stop.
Hey, hey.
Stop. Voices in my head. Stop.
I'm here for you, Fox. You're not a pup anymore. You got this. And I'm coming for you. I'm not going to let you go again.
I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna figure something out. Can I perceive my surroundings?
Yeah, roll perception.
I don't have any of those items I got last session.
Nope.
Do I?
You sure don't. So I guess roll with disadvantage because you're in the dark again.
Is that double disadvantage then?
No, I don't think you need to roll it with double disadvantage.
Okay, that is a 16 then.
Dang. You're awake and you're determined to use your presence of mind. You are in a small cell, not unlike the vertical capsule pod things in the Matrix. Like there's no liquid in it, but it's like a cylinder of stone basically that you are in. There's no door in or out. There's no screen or anything on the front of it, like no glass screen on the front of it to see through. You are on the floor of the cell is absolute darkness, and you realize that you have crawled some maybe 3, maybe 4 feet. The cell itself is probably 10 feet in diameter. There is a teeny amount of light coming from the roof where you can see what must be a couple of like slits for air to ventilate through, but you have no idea where the actual light is coming from. It's like residual indirect light from something somewhere, and we're talking like darker than a Zippo lighter, like not hardly any light at all, just enough that you can tell it's there. And that's all that you can see.
Okay. Survival training. Right. If we're waking up in a stone cell with no escape. Right. After having a crazy mind-melting dream. And voices in your head. All covered in the books, I'm sure. I lick my finger and hold it up. Do I feel any part of my finger colder than the rest of it?
No. You don't. But on the bright side, you are no longer cold exhausted. It turns out that as the mind effects wear off, the like cold sweat that your body had been emitting, which is all that was making you cold before, is starting to dry, and you kind of stabilizing.
Okay.
You don't hear anything either. Like, we're talking silence and darkness of the tomb here.
Hey, Fox.
Voices in my head are not real. Voices in my head are not real.
I'm real. This is Jeb. I'm with Elaine Mollusk, and I'm using a scrying spell to see you. I can see what's around you.
Okay, I was going to ask, tell me something I don't know, because I'm pretty sure mind melting stuff would tell me stuff I do know. So I guess you passed that question?
We've
Is
done
that even a
questionable. What can I do to prove myself to you?
uh do you have a plan?
I think no, but I'm working on one.
No, that sounds a lot better because the other voices in my head had a plan. So
I mean, I always have a plan, but you know how it takes like a couple seconds for me to come up with one, and they're dubious at best.
fair enough. Okay. Whether you're the voice in my head or Jeb, I really have no option but to believe you. 'Cause what else am I gonna do in this scenario? So yeah, talk away, Jeb.
I need to know something that you had on your, like you don't have your gear with you. I need to know something that you had that was very unique to just you. Like, did you have a bracelet or a locket or a special coin that you kept in your boot or something like that?
Give me 1 second out of character because I gotta remember what exactly. I know what it is, but I don't.
While
wanna
Fox
describe it
thinks
wrong.
about that to have his continuing conversation with Jeb, we'll jump back to Alan and Zothkug, who are with Shale at the Shimmery Wall, trying to decide what to do next.
All right. Well, I think we should definitely wait for Jeb. But in the meantime, I'm going to figure this shimmer out. And I'm going to take out a plant leaf
Mhm.
and cast Detect Magic.
Oh, it's magic.
What kind of magic?
Yeah, I'm getting there, but you definitely detect some magic.
Have you guys seen the movie Annihilation?
No.
Nope.
Oh, well, that's what this is reminding me of.
It's evocation magic.
That's
That's bad.
what's evocation again?
It's like what burns stuff up, like damage stuff.
Yep. And just a little bit of abjuration as well.
Which is
Ooh.
protection magic.
I will relay
Today's
this.
Schools of Magic brought to you by Jeb.
Mhm.
I will relay this to Alan and Shale. I'm like,
That
This-
doesn't sound good.
no.
However, it is not illusion magic, which takes away my first thought with the fact that it seemed like
And the rock
perhaps-
went through okay.
Yeah,
This is true.
Did the rock look like scorched or steaming or anything when it went through?
No, absolutely no change to the rock.
Okay.
Perhaps
I'm scared, though. That worries me.
it does worry me as well. A part of me is tempted, due to the constraints of time, to just kind of say, screw it, and go, fortify our minds, and just kind of walk through. But also, waiting for Jeb does sound like a smart idea, because Jeb generally has a plan for things such as this.
You said it was like a platform that spans across, Josh?
Yeah, it's so remember you're in basically a tunnel with a river at the center of it that's like 5 feet wide and then a little ledge on the side. This is just a full width, so it's the full 10 feet like bridge thing, like a plank that's been laid on top of those two ledges so that you don't have to step in the water for 15 feet. And then after that, the river continues.
Got it.
What if we swam underneath the platform? Would that, I don't know if magic is bound by any specific floor level.
Does it go like floor to ceiling?
It does in the space you're looking in, it goes floor to ceiling.
Okay.
I highly doubt that it doesn't go through the water.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna.
Do you have
approach
thoughts, Shale?
the shimmer.
I
And
feel
just
like
take-
go ahead, Trevor. Sorry.
stick a pinky, just like a pinky on the edge. See if I feel anything different.
As soon as your pinky breaks the plane of the shimmery wall, you feel on the other side of it that strange wind, that constant force wind stops. Like the wall is almost emitting the wind, it seems like. It's very cold and not like dangerously cold, but it's chilly, like you've kind of submerged your hand in ice water, but on the other side it's fine. It doesn't seem to have any other harm or danger occurring to you.
Well, it appears that this is the cause of the wind, and on the other side of it, it is normal.
Ah, well, perhaps we are simply
Maybe that's the evocation.
dilly-dallying for nothing, yes.
Well,
I say we step through.
Should we continue?
Yes.
I thought we were going to wait for Jeb, though. Well, at least we know what this is now.
I mean, this hole so far has only been one path. Like, he'll know.
That is correct.
It's not like he can lose us in this.
Alrighty.
All
We
right.
step forward.
Who's going first? Zoth, you're in front right now. Are you going
Yeah.
through first? Okay.
I'll go through.
This happens to all of you, but for Zothkug, as soon as your head breaks through the plane of the shimmery wall, you hear a
Welcome.
in the back of your head, but otherwise no other effects to you. This happens to the others of you as well. When you walk in, you just hear that same kind of
Welcome.
and then you're in and the wind is gone, and in front of you there's about 120 feet longer of tunnel before some room opens up in the end, and that 120 feet comes to life. Specifically in front of you, you see basically whirling like scythes dropping out of the ceiling and crossing the tunnel. And as you watch, they start out really slow, like the machine hasn't done anything in a while, but they're slowly picking up speed the longer that you watch them as well.
So,
Quick, someone pop me.
I don't believe we're in the aboleth's control yet. I don't know if it works that way. I had to be put into contact with the aboleth or with someone else under the aboleth's control for that to happen.
Shale just walks up and backhands you where you are. Assuming you don't try to resist, he's just going to hit, so he'll just roll damage.
Yep.
2 points of damage as he backhands you, and nothing changes.
Nothing changes?
Nothing changes.
Okay.
See? One thing, I have two schools of thoughts on this as we enter.
As you're
this
talking, Shale
scenario.
also backhands you for 1 point of damage.
It's nothing. It's not. It's not necessary.
I'm gonna bop Shale.
You bop. So Shale's like looking at Alan and hits him, and then you bop him on the top of the head because he's a halfling.
Just a slappy fight.
Yeah, it's just. Shale
What I'm
takes.
trying to say is there are two different ways of thinking about this. We could either continue on because we're already essentially in the playing into the aboleth's hand, and we may as well see how that plays out, or because that's assuming that the aboleth will get its way no matter what, or B, we can literally just leave now and come up with some other plan of attack to do something else because it may be hopeless just walking into what the aboleth wants us to do.
We should wait for Jeb at least.
While you're all trying to figure out what's going on, Matt Fox,
Yes.
in your cell, you suddenly hear the distant soft rumble of machinery activating. It's like a grinding, rumbly weirdness. And also, you and Jeb are continuing your conversation about some kind of possession.
All right. Okay. So the only thing I can think of, Jeb, is I had a letter.
Was that the letter that we got ripped in half that Jeb like held onto and read half of it?
Yes.
Dude, that's absolutely the case.
Okay. Jeb's eyes light up and he turns to Elaine. Elaine,
Yes?
I don't know how to do it, but I know that there's a spell. I've seen some notes about it in my journal here for locating an object. Would you happen to have something put together, or a scroll of something like that, or some sort of device that we can load that into, to locate an object?
It'll need some tinkering. I have a device for locating cipher trucks before we sell them, like in case they get stolen. But I've never used one to just locate a general object. yes, we can tinker with that. I think that can be arranged.
I would like to tell Fox I'm heading towards that letter. And that letter, I presume, is near you. So I'm coming for you.
Wait! I haven't even looked at myself this entire time.
Yeah, you're dressed as a princess.
I don't have any of my stuff on me. Shoot.
But you do have the princess's clothes on, and she's probably got pins and, like whatever.
Yeah. I'm gonna start like looking around for anything that looks very unique pin-wise. Like maybe a part of the clothing, like a bracelet or something.
So she had a bunch of gold ringlets that she wore on her arms, and each of the I guess those are just bracelets. Each of the bracelets of that set, because there's 3 on each arm, each of the bracelets has like dwarven script written into the side of it. As far as I know, you don't read dwarven, but it still is like real fancy looking.
Jeb, wait. I don't have that on me. I'm still in the disguise. I had to take off everything when I went into the disguise. I don't have anything on me. Bracelets. I'm wearing bracelets that the dwarven princess wore. Same exact ones.
And Jeb, you can see them like
Hold
through
it
your
up.
scry. Yeah.
Hold it up.
Can you see them?
I'm going to take a second to just study it. Spin it around. Let me see the other side. Okay. All right. I can't bring this spell with me. So once I leave here, I can't see you. But just know I'm coming for you. And I'm going to... I'll wait for Fox to respond, and then I'm going to cut it off.
Okay.
All I can say is, thanks, Jeb, and good luck. And F it. I hope Kelnor sends you good vibes. I don't know.
You turn to the left, having cut off your scrying communication, and Elaine Mollusk is sitting cross-legged on the floor of her office. Remember, they're kind of connected by like a pseudo wall. She's sitting cross-legged with like the guts of some technology like sitting on her lap, and she's got like a screwdriver tucked behind one ear and like a monocle that's making her eye like magnify over the other, like straight up, like Iron Man building a new thing in the ruins of a terrorist camp.
Now.
Just like pulling different pieces together. And there's wires
sit
like
next to her and flip open the book, flip open Jeb's grandpa's journal to the page where he saw locate object.
Awesome.
It's a 2nd level spell, so it's well within Jeb's capability of learning.
Yeah.
He just didn't decipher this one and add it, to his repertoire.
Yeah. So she's still like ripping it apart and putting the different pieces together. She suddenly like snaps her fingers, and a little pinch of sacrium combusts in her hand. She goes, "This is sort of like making fire." And she uses it to solder some stuff together, and she bends the thing around, and then she finally opens it up and she goes, all right. So see those runes that are written on the page there? You're going to inscribe those on here. Okay. And she hands you a quill, but coming out of the quill is like a literal, like a stream of molten sacrium. She goes, so just inscribe that right on here.
Yep. I guess that's an Arcana check.
Yes.
That's a 16 plus 9, so 25.
You do a great job inscribing the rune, and as soon as you do, you can tell that it worked because all of the different pieces that she's arranged around it snap shut as if drawn by magnets. And it's created like a small square pyramid, and the top of the pyramid twists off like it's a corkscrew. You twist off the top of the pyramid, and then you whisper the thing you're looking for into it, push wingle digits in behind what you've whispered, and close it again. And then the pyramid spins in a circle in your hand. And when you flip it over, the square has a revealed location of the object to you. So you can, while you're holding it, you sense the direction of the object, just like the spell works. You sense the direction to the object's location. And if the object is in motion, you know the direction of its movement. This thing also gives you just like a general picture of the item. So you can see like the item that you're locating in case it's the right thing. Welcome back, Big Steel. That sounds like a thing that you hear like on comms, like you get back to friendly territory. Welcome back, Big Steel. Anyway, so that's what happens, and you can successfully locate the ringlet that the princess described to you, or the fake princess described to you. Elaine says, "Here, take these," and she hands you like 10 full sets of Wingle digits necessary to run it. So you can cast the spell 10 times using those Wingle digits.
All right. Jeb stands up. He shakes Elaine's hand, clasps his book closed, and casts a new spell.
Great.
Does he know about how far he is from the North Well?
Yes, he is almost next to the South Well, so he's got to cross the entire downtown of Tumbleweb to get there.
Okay.
You don't want to go that way. Elaine Mollusk turns around and she picks up the same device, but not pulled apart or gutted or anything. She turns it over and you can see that it's locating cipher trucks. She goes, "Take one of these." And she pushes a button on it, and you can hear underneath the estate, you hear the vroom of an engine rev up. She goes, "These ones are prototypes. Try not to scratch them." And then she tosses you the pyramid and says, "Just push that button again when you're done. They'll drive home."
He pushes the button again and turns it off.
Okay.
Tucks it into his pack. And says, "Thank you kindly, but I have a few tricks of my own." He pulls out his blunderbuss.
Yeah.
And it gives it a little twist, and this little like crank pops out the side. And he's like cranks it up a little bit, and as he does, these two little flaps fold down on the side.
Okay.
And he sets it on the ground, and he stands on both of the flaps, like almost like he's like they're pedals on a bicycle, and so he's kind of like holding it down between his legs, and he's standing on the flaps, and he's going to cast Fly, which gives him a dash speed of 120 feet, and he just like a rocket out the window, and just heading as the crow flies to the North Well.
As you're like, you know, doing the like prep work for the spell, you glance over at Elaine Mollusk, and faster than you would have believed as possible, I did roll for this, faster than you believed as possible, she has an accurate to scale sketch of your blunderbuss and a bunch of hypothetical notes written around the outside of it about how it might work. You rocket out the top floor of her estate. She's even kind enough to open the window for you instead of you having to smash the wall of her office. And you fly across the top of Tumbleweb. You don't need to worry about rolling a stealth check because people don't actually look up very often in an underground like city. So no one looks up, nobody sees you. You zoom across. And after a minute, I think what you're looking for is ! Recap, chat. She zooms across and you zoom across and get even with the waterfall, and then you can go straight down if you want. I mean, flying is flying, so you can go straight down and get into the tunnel.
Got it for an hour, and he is getting to Fox as quickly as possible. So he's just like Iron Manning across the city, and then zooms straight down the well.
Okay. You zoom straight down the well, find yourself in the same room that the others started in. Now, they're about 200 feet away from you, so your dark vision can't quite see to them. But as a reminder, at the base of the waterfall, there is a shallow pool, and then there's only one direction to go, but it stretches off in that direction as like a really light river. It probably began as erosion and then was extended because it was convenient by whatever entity made this area down here. So it's just a 5 foot wide kind of steady trickle, basically. And it's fairly shallow. It's, maybe half a foot, maybe a foot tall. And there's two little ledges on the side. As a dirt folk, you are able to pretty easily just walk on the ledges to the side. So you don't have to worry about getting your feet. Oh, that's right. You're flying. The tunnel's not that tall. Like it's 7 or 8 feet tall. It's just enough to be traversable. But you are
3 feet tall.
Yep. So you're flying down the tunnel. Are you still dashing or are you flying at normal speed?
Well, this has kind of started to close in a little bit, so he's slowed down to 60 feet, which is just his regular movement when he's flying.
Okay.
And he's gonna pull out the locate object cipher, which gives it starts to pull and ping if he's within 1,000 feet.
Okay.
If the object's within 1,000 feet of him.
Okay. It's not within 1,000 feet of you, but you are going the right direction. You also, as you're looking at it, you need to make a DC 10 dexterity save.
Oh, because like paying attention to it versus him.
Because you zoomed underneath the green ooze.
Oh, yeah.
But that was
He's going real fast.
15.
Okay, yeah. So you hear like a plop behind you as the ooze falls onto the ground, but
goes,
nothing
"Oh,
else
yeah."
happened. And now you
forgot
can
about
see
that.
the others in front of you. They are on the other side of the shimmery wall, which you can also now see. And in front of them is like a hallway of horrors looking deal with scythe blades spinning from the ceiling for the first 80 feet. And then after that, you can see pillars that are just slamming down the full width of the hallway for another however many. It's hard to tell from this distance, maybe 30, maybe 50 more feet. And then beyond that, a little bit more stretch of hallway with nothing in it. And they're standing there trying to figure out what to do as you arrive.
Jeb kind of wants to blast right through it at 120 feet per 6 seconds.
You can try that. That is an acceptable thing you can try. Are we ready to take on the this tunnel here?
That's up to Jeb. We don't know he's here yet.
That's true.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Jeb's gonna blast down the tunnel. As between the ooze and the guys, has he felt a pull on the cipher yet?
So hang on, because if he's going to blast down the tunnel, I need him to roll initiative.
Okay. Well, no, I'm sorry. Like not through all of the machines.
Oh,
Like-
okay. You're just catching up to the party.
Yeah, between the ooze and the party,
Got
by
it.
the time he catches up to the party, does he feel anything on the cipher?
Yes. In fact, the cipher begins to tug down the tunnel. And also
down the
as you catch up to the party, you hear the same in the back of your mind. When you pass through the shimmery wall, and it's cold, but then the wind stops and then you're on the other side. You're going to blast through the tunnel. So go ahead and roll me initiative.
Well, if I know it's in that direction, he's not going to go down the tunnel. So what he's going to do is he's going to land on the ground,
Okay.
kind of to a
Now you see
screeching
him.
halt. Yeah.
Hey, Jeb.
Blunderbuss is in hand, and I'm going to cast lightning bolt,
Okay.
which is a 10-foot wide bolt of lightning, which is about the size of the tunnel, and it goes 120 feet, just the whole length.
Okay.
And he essentially wants to just clean out the whole thing if he can.
Okay. At this point, by the way, the blades are moving pretty quickly. Like they've spun up to full speed.
All right, so this is 8d6 lightning damage. They need to make a dexterity save. I don't know how you want to roll that.
I'm going to roll that as some of them are down and some of them are up. So I'm going to roll the dexterity save. And then
Okay.
if they pass, then you don't get all of them.
That's a lot of sixes.
What was the dex save? Because they rolled a 16.
The save is 14.
Okay, so you don't get them all. You get half damage,
take-
which we'll say is
Yeah, they
half
take
of them.
damage.
So we'll do
Do do do do do do do do do do.
they take how much damage was that?
19 points of damage to each of them that are in there.
I'm reading it straight out of the source book. Smash, 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 as a bunch of these spinning scythes coming from the ceiling just splinter and fall to the ground, smoldering slightly as they land with a sss in the water beneath them. The smashing, like the pillars that are compressing down, nothing at all happens to those. They are giant like rock pillars, basically.
Whoa, Jeb, man. Did everyone
got a
else do
plan.
that?
You just ask whether we all saw that or whether we did that, because I did not do that.
No, see that, man.
I
I'm
saw
just
that.
making sure we're not going crazy.
I got a plan, guys. And I hold
What's
up the
your plan?
cipher. This is pointing to Fox. We got to follow it. He's that way. And
Alrighty.
he tosses it to Zoth.
Okay.
Do you want me to lead?
Sure. Or just tell us which way to go.
That way.
Okay. We head that way.
Okay, you head that way. You cross
do.
the first 80 feet without really any trouble at all. But when you get to there are 50 feet of crushing pillar traps slamming down from the ceiling. To pass through them, you'll need to roll some initiative.
What does the ground look like here?
It is smooth, like
Now,
hewn
to-
stone with the
to-
water in the middle.
To clarify, Josh, I know Josh is the DM. I trust him.
This trap
generally
works on
don't-
initiative.
Okay.
Yep,
I got a 3.
you tried.
I got a 10.
I got an 18.
Okay. So you are standing at the beginning of the crushing pillar section of the hallway. When you enter it, you'll only be able to move up to, whatever speed you choose to travel at. And depending on where you end, you may need to make saves to avoid being hit. So you with the 18, you're first.
Alrighty. Would taking the dodge action help?
I don't think so. Dodge just makes it so that you can't. Let me look up dodge really quick in my reference to see if there's anything that would be specifically useful for this.
It forces disadvantage on something trying to attack you because you focus your efforts on being dodgy as opposed to attacking.
Yeah, but these don't roll to hit, you roll to save. But this actually does also say you make your dex throws with advantage if you can see your attacker. So yes, this is still relevant. The dodge action would give you advantage on your dex save.
Cool. I'm going to take the dodge action and then move either 30 feet, which is my movement, or whatever is there an opening between the pillars?
No.
Or is it just straight pillar?
There's openings, but it's more like if you're within the range of the pillars, then you make the save to avoid them at the end of your turn. Because they're all staggered and different timings, and some come from the side and some come from the top, and it's a whole thing.
And you said it was 50 feet of this left?
Yeah, 50 feet of this left. So you'll only be in it for 2 rounds. Or you'll be in it for 1 round, and then you can go past it. You could try and dash through, but if you dash through, then you're going to have to still make the save once as you try and avoid them. Who was next? I think Jeb was next, right?
Well, I
Yeah.
haven't gone yet.
Didn't you just take the dodge action and move?
I haven't moved. Well, still need to roll, don't I?
Well, you'll need to roll on their turn. So
I
that's
roll
why
on
we
their
have
turn,
initiative, because there's
Okay.
movement and then they take a turn. And sometimes you'll be able to do things to get double moves and stuff like that, which is why
Oh, okay.
I don't know
Then
that
yes,
you in
then-
particular have the ability to do that, but that's why initiative is necessary here.
Okay. Dodge
So-
action and move, then yes.
Yeah. And I forgot to roll initiative for Shale. Shale actually comes after you. So Shale also is going to move out. He can only move 20 feet in a turn, but he moves 20 feet into the hallway and is also taking the dodge action. You found the loophole. Wash, what are we doing?
I'm gonna try and cast Mold Earth on the wall to see if I can carve a path around it.
Just like in Jess Bason's estate, when you cast Mold Earth, the wall moves at first as you would expect it to, and then reforms into what it was before. The spell basically gets interrupted.
Yep. Then he's still got fly for
That's true.
45 minutes or whatever. So 60 feet of movement. He should
Okay.
be able to get all the way through it.
60 feet of movement. He's going to get the whole way through, and you're going to make, you still have to make 1 save if you pass through, but you make it with advantage because you're on the other side. So now you and Shale and Zothkug are going to all roll your dexterity saves, and all of you have advantage for some reason or another, to avoid. The DC to beat is 15.
Whew. That advantage saved me. I got to 17.
Okay.
I got a 17. Twinsies.
So yeah, Jeb, as he's flying through, he sees one coming and does a quick, he just pulls to an abrupt halt, waits for it to leave, and then zooms the rest of the way through. At the same time, Zothkug, you dive backwards and get yourself just out of the way of a pillar as it crashes down, and then back into its zone as it raises up. And as it raises up, you can see that Shale has been smashed by that pillar on the ground at your feet. Shale has taken a bunch of damage, and he's looking like super duper bruised. He is very slowly attempting to like pull himself to his feet as he lays there. He's like, I will not give up now. Alan, it is now your turn.
Alan is gonna kind of do the thing that he did with the slime. He's just gonna try to get through as fast as he can. So he's gonna kind of once again kind of step back and kind of like pump himself up, and then try to just completely dash all the way through.
Great. You can make your dexterity save with advantage.
Okay. I'm bad at dexterity, so that helps.
He's good.
Yo, I got an 18, but even though I rolled a 19 because I have -1 to my dexterity modifier.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are able to make it through without taking any damage. Top of the round begins. There are 2 of you still in the field. It's Shale and Zothkug. So Zoth, you're gonna move the rest of the way, I guess.
And take the dodge action.
You don't even need to because you've moved out of the range of the pillars. However, Shale can only move 10 feet because he's prone, or he can stand up and then move 10 feet standing.
Did he get hit? Is that why?
Yeah, he got hit.
Dang.
Going back for him.
So, okay. Your move comes before his does. So, go ahead and do whatever you're going to do.
Yep, I'm gonna zip back in. I've got 60 feet of movement, so I should be able to get, 30 feet to him ish.
Yeah.
And 30 feet back.
Let's say he's a halfling, so he's not going to be difficult. So just like a generic, like strength or athletics, if you're trained in it, is fine too, to carry him with you. And it's just a DC 10, like the average person's workload. Okay. So yeah, just a strength check then with a DC of 10.
15.
All right. You are able to pick him up like Superman and take him to the end of the hallway. As you come out of the field of crushing pillars, however, I need all of you to make a wisdom save.
Oh, come on. 13.
Shale finally succeeded against something. Your DC to beat is 15. So.
Oh no. 12.
How'd you do, Jeb?
11.
All right.
No.
So everyone,
you're not getting rescued, Matt.
Everyone except Shale is frightened, and you must use your reaction immediately to move as far as you can backwards in the hallway, like towards the pillars or away. You are not after the one round of fleeing, you can either stand still or flee again, but the only way to do any action that is not that thing is to use your action to make a wisdom save of DC 15 or higher, and then you are able to move back towards it.
Okay.
So does that mean that
frightened
Jeb
by?
goes all the way back through again because
I guess so, because he's
max
got
move is like 60 feet?
Yeah, so you just moved 60 feet back, so you're on the other end of the pillars again.
What happened to scare us?
There is a rune of fear at the end of the hallway, but you have not quite seen it yet. So mechanically, that's what it is, but your players don't actually know that yet.
Alan, I guess moves back, like dashes back as well, because you have to move as far away as you can, right?
Yes, you must flee. It doesn't actually say you have to dash, so I guess you could walk if you wanted to, but like I think you could choose to dash. You're frightened. You're doing scared person stuff.
Yeah, it's back through the scythes again, or back through the pillars again. Dang.
Yeah.
Okay, he'll do that, and then on the next turn he'll try to break the what's it called it.
Okay.
I still have an action this turn. Can I use my action to try and
Sure.
what the heck was that?
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely. Well, you would each have to make the DC 15 to pass it. So he can only save himself here.
Alan got a 15 on his next one.
Okay.
Do we need to see it, or is it just like this aura that's
It's an
bursting
aura basically that's caused by the rune of fear.
Got it.
Jeb did not succeed.
Okay. So Jeb did not succeed. So he's fleeing backwards. Alan's fleeing backwards at least once, and then we know he succeeds. So
Do I need to make another?
Yep, both of you make a dex save. Yep, to avoid the pillars. And the frightened condition, I believe.
7.
Yeah. I was gonna say
9.
Oof. Okay, so you both get to the other side. You've just saved Shale and set him down when suddenly it hits you, and you're like, "Oh no, I gotta go!" And you turn around and flee backwards, and both of you just right in the middle of it, just smack get hit by a pillar, which knocks you prone. The pillars deal. I thought this was in my notes, but it wasn't. It was on the actual write-up of this hallway. This hallway is actually in a source book, which is kind of fun. It just means that I'm not making up what I'm doing as I go here. Okay. Each of you takes oof.
No, not oof.
Yeah.
Each of you takes, okay.
Oh, man. Each of you takes 18 points of damage as one of the pillars just compresses straight down into the floor and you are prone. So at the beginning of your next turn, you can stand and then move. And that's all part of your move action. We know Owlin has broken his fear.
Yeah.
And then Zothkug, you also, did you do move backwards?
Can I move backwards and dodge again?
You can't. So I think you're not allowed to take an action until you break the wisdom save.
You've breaking the will. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, you can't take the dodge action. You just move backwards, but you can dash.
Yeah, I'll dash.
Because that's a move thing. So, okay, so you dash backwards 60 feet. So just roll your dex save to get to the other side, but then you're at least not stuck in the middle anymore if you make it to the back.
13.
Okay, 13. Nope, the DC's 15. You also get hit. Dang, this thing, that rune of fear really makes this trap worse than it otherwise would be.
Yeah.
You take 11 points of damage as
That
one of the
Aboleth is
pillars
pretty smart when
smashes
designing
into
its
you.
traps.
I guess so, yeah. So now, Owlin, you are both recovered from the thing, and it cannot affect you with the aura anymore. It can defend itself if you try and break the rune, but you won't be affected by it anyway, so you don't have to make another save. So you can...
Save against the frighten.
You can on your next turn.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're now at the top of the initiative order. The top of the initiative order is... Who rolled the 18? Was that Zoth?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then yes, make your save.
All right. You said whiz, right?
Yeah, wheeze. A wheeze
That's
save.
better. 22.
A 22.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep. You have recovered from your fear. You are still prone and in the middle of the field of danger, but you can get up and move out of it if you like.
I would like to do that.
Yeah. So you've made it just to the other end of the pillars, basically. And then I believe Jebediah was next.
I need to make a Constitution saving throw to see if I lose focus on my fly spell.
Oh, okay. Then you should do that.
Dang it, that's not good.
Ooh.
That is a 6. So my fly stops.
Yeah.
And Jeb is very, very bloody right now.
Because you're flying,
Not anymore.
well, because you were you were moving at high speed. I'm trying to figure out if you're closer to the beginning or the end of the pillars. I think Wash should decide if he wants to be the top 50 or the bottom 50%, and Trevor should roll a percentile die. And that's where we'll figure out how you landed. So, because one way you can get out safely, and the other way you'd be moving through the pillars. So that's what I'm trying to decide is which end you're closest to.
I'm feeling like a bottom 50 day.
Okay. So he needs 50% or lower.
Alrighty.
Okay. I'm gonna be upset if
rolled the
y'all come all this
29.
way and y'all die on the way to rescue me.
That would be crazy.
What'd you roll, Trevor?
29.
29. So that's a 50% or lower. So you are closer to whichever side you choose, Wash. I guess you want to be in front of it, right?
Yeah. Have you saved your wisdom?
Oh, I guess he hasn't yet.
No, not yet. So I don't know if I can get closer to it or not.
Yeah.
Like, should I do that now, or is that like after I move?
That you would do that after you had already moved.
Okay, so I'll move. I'll say I'm closer towards the back,
Okay.
like away from the rune.
Great. So you could stand and leave in one turn if you go backwards.
Well,
if you pass
so
your
here's the
save,
thing.
you could stand and
You said this was like a 50-foot length, right?
right.
Jeb's move speed is only 25, and you burn up half of your speed when you get up from prone,
Oh shoot.
which means he's only got like 10 feet of movement.
Yeah. So he's like 10 feet from the beginning then, is what we just established. Like he made it 40 feet through and then got hit and knocked prone.
Okay. All right. Well, he's gonna scrabble and move and get out of there if he can.
Yep.
As these things are just like boo, boo, boo behind him.
Yeah, and he like on his hands and knees basically like scrabbles out, and now you can use your action to roll your save.
The 5 plus like not enough.
Okay, so you are still afraid and unable to move forward. Shale says to Owlin and Zothkug, "You guys need to wake him up. It's not real. It's a spell. It's a magical effect. You gotta say something to him."
Who?
To
Jeb, man,
Jeb.
wake up.
You turn around and Jeb is like at the back of the tunnel.
Remember, we gotta save Fox, man.
It's a rune. It's just a spell.
I can't. It's like, I don't know. Something's wrong. I can't. Why can't I move?
Can Alan see the rune?
Yes, you can walk up to the rune now if you want.
Okay. Does Alan know whether if you can like hit a rune and make it go away, like strike it?
Way rune.
You don't know about this specific rune. We'll say it that way. Someone who is trained in Arcana could, examine the rune and try and figure out.
Only if you had somebody trained in Arcana.
Yeah.
May I Arcana?
Yeah.
Well, are you? Wait, did you? What's
Non-natural
Zothkug's
20.
status?
Zoth is out.
Okay, cool.
Non-natural 20 on
Yeah, he's
Arcana.
out of the game. He's
All
retired.
right. With your non-natural 20, you are able to both figure out that it can be disabled and also that it can only be disabled by overpowering it with your mind. It requires 3 DC 15 Arcana checks to disable, and they must be consecutive. So
Can they be by multiple people or by one person?
only one person can work on it at a time. And once a creature begins working on it, the Rune of Fear has like a defensive mechanism that kicks in. Each successful check on an attempt to disable the rune increases the damage of the blades and crushing pillars by 1d10. And increases the rune save DC by 1. So next time you have to make an Arcana check of 16 to break through it.
It seems as though this is risky. Maybe we need Jeb to break this on his own.
Nah, man, I got this.
Alan, are you sure about that? That's this.
Meanwhile, the pillars are moving just a little bit faster now. Okay, each of you can roll your saves or your checks. So Jeb is making a wisdom save and Zothkug's
There we
making an
go.
Arcana check.
Yep.
17.
Nice. You beat the save DC of 16. So you are freed of the fear. You just need to get through the
Zoth.
50 feet of crushing pillars.
I got
Zoth,
it.
there's no need to do that now.
You got a
He's
what?
Free.
10.
Okay, so you also did not succeed. So your first attempt to break through it has failed. So Jeb needs to somehow cross 50 feet of smashing pillars.
Zoth, don't try that again. He's free.
I need to. Jebnes is trying to think. If he gets near that thing, is it just going to happen again? He's not sure if it's like a proximity thing or not.
Jeb, we're here. We're fine. Like we made it.
Like the thing wore off on me, but
Yeah.
if I get over there, is it gonna do it again?
No, it's
Nah,
not doing
man.
it again to us.
Okay. And Jeb casts Fog Step and boom, just like shows up next to them in like a poof cloud.
Nothing. You don't need to make another save. You appear there with a little poof of cloud around you, and now everyone is here.
Zoth, is there a chance you have healing apparatus with you?
Jeb, do you have those healing kits?
I forgot him. And I'm fine. And Jeb is like very clearly like blood like on soaked fur like on half of his body, and there's like dirt caked into it from where he was like pressed into the ground. He's just like mud on one side.
All right. Well, I have
I'm good. I'm
4 healing
okay.
kits left, and I have 9 plants left. So between that,
Something like that would help me greatly right now.
All right, I'm gonna use a healing kit on everyone,
Okay.
so that'll use
Yeah.
up the remaining 4 that I have.
Guys, I'm
Everyone.
gonna
Oh yeah,
tell
I
you.
guess Shale too.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Stone sucks. Like dirt is just way better than stone. Stone just like really, really sucks.
From a technological perspective, I would have to disagree. However, from your perspective, I understand why you would think that at this moment.
That's the most Owlin thing you've ever said.
Okay. So we'll do
Just
Alan
roll it
first.
once and everyone can
Oh.
have the same bonus just to speed things up.
Alrighty. Ooh, max roll. So 10 from me, and then plus your hit die.
That's exactly the amount of damage I took. I'm
Heyo.
back to where I was.
Zothkug earning
much
his
was that?
keep.
Yeah.
What?
Whoop whoop.
10 plus your
How
hit
much was
die.
it? Oh wow.
Like the amount of hit die you have. So as a level 4 person, you would have 4.
Level
Yeah.
5.
Or is he?
Oh,
is
your number of hit die or
Yes.
the hit die?
It's
your
the
number of hit die.
It's the number of hit die, I believe.
Okay.
Plus equal to the creature's maximum
I guess-
number of hit dice.
Alan's still level 4 because he hasn't taken.
That's true.
Yeah. Yep.
No.
Thank you, Zoth. I can now feel my left side again, and that feels pretty good.
Shale's now like splinted and bandaged and his shoulders wrapped up. That he's
Shale is beat up.
yeah, he's like beat the heck up. But what's crazy is that he doesn't seem like he wants to stop at all. He's like, no, I got this. And he like is just still rolling. He's got the
He's
cloak
so-
over all of his casts and stuff. He's like, casts are just armor.
He's so cool, guys. He's so cool.
What's ahead of us? What do we see?
In front of you is a small circular room, and on the other side of it, another longer hallway, like short hallway, but more stretch of hallway leading into the like a bigger main room. The water flows right through the center of this room and continues on out of here. And this room, this sort of little circular, like halfway room or whatever it is almost entirely barren. There's some, pebbles and stuff on the ground, but there's nothing really of note in it, except on one side there is a little huddled mass, like laying on the ground, slumped on the ground.
Hey, you want to check that out?
Alan will step towards it. Have
Yeah.
like a weapon drawn.
Shale also walks over towards it.
Yeah.
He's got his one
Throw
arm.
a pebble at it.
Am I
His-
about to get my shit beat out of me?
Your pebble bounces off of the thing and nothing happens. Fox, you don't feel a pebble bounce off you. It's not you.
Okay.
Your pebble bounces off of the mass and nothing in particular happens. Shale is going to approach it with dagger drawn in his hand that's not in a cast, and he crouches down.
Alan's behind Shale with his greatsword.
Yeah. And he
Pulled my
crou-
dagger out. My
Yeah.
short sword out too.
And Shale kind of positions himself in a way where like Owlin can get a really clear shot. He doesn't need to worry about hitting Shale too.
Mhm.
And then Shale reaches out and rolls over the body, and it's a merfolk who is dead, like cut across the neck by like these really tight slashing lines. She's laying there, and Shale like takes a deep breath and he goes, "This one was south, but no sign of the others." And then he looks up at Owlin and goes, "I hope we find your friend too."
I hope we
Hopefully
find
not like this.
as many people as we can alive.
And you had me tripping there, Josh. You had me tripping.
Zoth, which way do we go?
As you ask Zoth, which way do we go? Two hands emerge from a little crevice that was tucked behind the body. They reach out, and the choker grabs around. It grapples Owlin, and it grapples Shale, or at least it attempts to. You can roll your acrobatics checks to oppose.
Athletics.
Yeah, your athletics checks to
Yeah, I think
oppose.
you can choose either. I think if you remember correctly.
I really think it's athletics versus acrobatics.
Well, I
Um,
only got a 7, even though I have a +5 in athletics. So that's fun.
rough. And Shale actually did roll pretty well. Shale got an 18. So Shale is able to spin out of the way. The choker rolled a 17. So Shale spins out of the reach of it just at the last moment, but it does wrap one of its arms around Owlin's neck, and it just yanks you back against the wall for a d6 of damage as it slams your body into the wall. Take 4 points of damage, and then it begins constricting on your throat, attempting to suffocate you. We are now in our normal combat, so we have 60 seconds to talk tactics, and then both sides will attack.
I'm going to frostbite the thing.
Yeah, Shale's going to try and cut it off at the wrist with his dagger.
Alan's gonna try to get free.
I was gonna try and cast Hold Person on it.
I wouldn't worry.
I don't think it's worth wasting a
it's-
spell on it. Chokers are solitary creatures.
Alrighty.
Okay, well then we're gonna enter combat. Your team can go first. So Shale's
Alan tries to escape, and he does. He got a 17.
Okay. And the choker only rolled a 15. So Alan rips his neck free just in time for Shale to roll a natural 20.
Let's go.
And confirm it to slice up at its wrist. So he probably helped, you kind of, it was timed at the same time. So it its wrist gets cut and then you rip
That's
free.
the sound it made.
Yeah, it did make that that's the sound that it made. And then
It's a choker sound.
Yeah, choker sound, And then Shale, knowing that your spell is coming, does a backflip, literally wrapped in his cast and whatnot, does a backflip out of the way of it and lands like hero posing, but with his cast out of the way. Lands just on 3 points of contact with his dagger hand and his 2 feet on the ground. And his cloak gently settles over top of him.
It needs to make a Constitution save. DC 14.
It didn't.
7 points of cold damage.
Yeah, 7 points of cold damage on the already significant wound that Shale's dagger has made, and the hand rips back in, and it moves no more.
It was coming out of the wall?
Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
Can I inspect the body?
The dead body or the choker?
Yeah, the dead body.
Yeah, you can inspect the dead body. Roll investigation.
We should be on our guard for things like that for the rest of this time down
We
here.
should always be on our guard.
Well, yes, I just mean now we know that that's a thing, that specific thing we should look out for.
The only thing you find on the body is a small watertight scroll case, which you are able to open, and inside there is what looks like the kind of rough handwritten notes that you might take before writing an official communication. So it's little thoughts and doodles and stuff that's been jotted down, and most of them are kind of blood soaked. It was a watertight scroll case, but it wasn't closed fully when the person got wounded and they closed it. But one of them that is still legible says "Under the Gold."
All right, guys. Well, there's something about this. It says under the gold. And it looks like the guy was wounded when he wrote it here. So I guess there's gold.
Which way is the device pointing?
The device is pointing deeper,
Okay.
further into the tunnel.
Says this way, guys.
Jeb is going to try and mold earth and just bury the guy real quick. The merfolk.
Mold earth still doesn't work the way it's supposed to.
Dang it.
Sh-
Does the guy? How long does it look like the guy's been dead?
The merfolk is not a fresh corpse.
Okay.
There's, in fact, now that you're not under pressure and you're examining her more, there are several bites taken out of her as if maybe the choker has been kind of feeding on the corpse while using it as bait.
Mm.
So it's been here for a while.
Is there any sort of insignia or something on her clothing?
No,
Okay.
she wouldn't have an insignia, Shale says to you from behind. She was working
Okay.
with me. The whole idea was for us to not be identified.
All right.
That does make sense, as the Grey Watch's kind of whole point is to not be identified.
Yep.
All right. Well, we need to go find Fox.
Yes, we should continue on.
You follow the path forward, and it opens now into a massive expanse, a giant cavern. And the river makes a lake in the cavern, but there's an island at the center, and the river bisects it. On the island is a massive stone table, and around it are 5 gigantic chairs or thrones or constructions of some kind. The ceiling above the room is probably 8 or 9 stories tall. I mean, maybe 100 feet even to some of the highest points. And then the island itself is just covered in gold and trinkets and brass, and it looks like a huge hoard room, basically. You are standing at the north end of the room, so you've traveled to the room south. Ahead of you, so on the south end of the room is just smooth wall. But on the east end of the room, which is to your left as you look south, the east end of the room, there is some kind of clearly intentional 20-foot wide tunnel that extends away. And it goes a long distance. You don't see any light coming through it. You do hear the general sounds of like murmured talking and, like activity basically down that tunnel. But this room, you don't hear any of that. This room is deathly still and silent. And to your right, on the west end of the room, as I check my notes to make sure I don't lie to you here, on the west end of the room, there are a bunch of like brambles and thorns and things climbing out of the water and up the wall. They also stretch across the lake itself. So there's this big field of like vines and brambles and what have yous that are crossing the lake. And Shale looks out at it like, what is this place?
Well, man, the note said under the gold. Maybe we should look there first.
Wasn't the note covered in blood?
Yeah, it was.
Well, I don't know if good things are under the gold or bad things.
This whole dungeon is a bad thing.
That is true.
Wise words.
Has Jeb told us or shown us the device that he's using to find?
I believe Zoth has it now,
Fox.
right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
holding it.
Yeah, he gave
Okay.
it his off.
Which way is it
Zoth,
pointing?
What way do we need to go?
It is pointing basically towards the island and down.
It's pointing towards the island and down.
Underneath the gold. Yes, that does make sense. We probably need to dig underneath the gold. That's the tunnel to where he is, where Fox is.
Fox, you do not hear them, but the machinery that you heard in the distance has stopped. Just so you know, just an update
All right.
for you.
So I'm gonna make
I'll
my
start
way
carving into the stone. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
make my way towards the island.
Okay, you will have to swim there.
That's scary.
Yep, it's about 100 feet between you and the island. The water is freezing cold, so you're gonna first have to make a con save against temporary exhaustion for cold, and then it's gonna be an athletics check to determine how far you swim. And if you're trained in athletics, then it will be whatever you roll in athletics doubled is the amount of feet you swim in the one round. If you are not trained in athletics, it will just be what you roll is how much you cover in one round. So we're not in combat, but basically for each roll as you advance, I'm going to add to the tension pool, and every time it hits 6, I'm going to clear it.
1 second.
Unless you've got some way of flying or whatever.
I was about that. Jeb, is
Zop.
there a way you could ferry us across?
We'd need to take a break. I don't have enough shells prepared to do any more of that.
Do we feel as though it's safe to take a break?
Shale looks
A
at
short
you
one?
with the same sort of look that you might give a child that's asked like a really stupid question in a school. Like, does this look like safe territory to you?
No.
That's what I figured. I just wanted to ask. It seems as though swimming may be the answer, then. The only answer here.
I'm not the best swimmer.
I am, but I don't know if I could lend any support to you.
I have an arm in a cast.
So perhaps I hate doing this. Perhaps Jeb and I swim
I can try.
How far across is it?
100 feet.
I mean, I can bamf across, but that doesn't help you guys.
That is correct.
I can't take anybody with me.
Maybe you should go across first and see what's over there, or more importantly, see if anything is in the water from that side.
I wouldn't want to leave him on his own necessarily.
Well, can you poof
Alan.
back?
Alan, do you have a bow or something? Or does anybody have the capability of shooting something?
I
Do you have something like that, Shale?
I have
can
this.
throw.
I have a hand crossbow.
How far can that thing shoot? Like, could you get shoot a bolt across this river?
Not reliably, but I mean, the island's pretty big. Like, I'm sure I could get a bolt over there.
I also could throw a javelin over across. Also not reliably, but I could
I
make
have a
it.
crossbow too, by the way.
Okay. How far can you shoot yours, Zoth?
I mean,
You're not
Inac-
aiming at something, you're just aiming at the island. So like as far as you could go if you like angled it really high.
inaccurately, the farthest it could go is 320 feet.
Oh yeah, okay. So Jeb pulls out one of his little cartridges and he like twists it open and like holds it like you open up a pill, like a capsule.
Okay.
Grab one of your bolts and just like dip it in here and twist it around a little bit.
All right, man. Zoth will take a crossbow bolt, dip it, and put it in.
All right. And then he kind of puts it back together and stuffs it on there. And he kind of rubs on it a little bit and it starts to emit light. He's going to cast the light cantrip on it. And so it's going to shed a 20-foot bright light and then another 20 feet of dim light around it. Shoot it over there and let's see what we can see.
All right, man. Zoth will aim at the center of the island and fire away.
Okay. You fire towards the island, and as it shoots across the... you have a pretty good range, so you don't need to arc this very much. So as it flies across the surface of the water, you're able to see that like there are lots of those kind of thorny brambles and vines and things the whole way across the water. You could conceivably use them to just pull yourself to the other side, but it's going to make the terrain difficult. So if you swim, you'll probably make it faster because you can dive under them, swim a little bit, pop up for air, and repeat. But you could just sort of pull yourself across that way as well if you needed to. Like, you're not really in danger of drowning as much. The island itself, how long does the cantrip last, Wash?
An hour.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or till I dismiss it.
Okay. So it's not like a distance thing from you.
No.
Great. So the island itself, the bolt flies over and lands with a chink in between some different coins and things. It displaces a little bit of treasure and knocks it down a small hill of hoard. The island's covered in gold and silver and other trinkets. It also illuminates the bottom of one of the feet of one of the thrones, like the giant obelisk looking feet of one of those chairs. But you're able to see from the little bit of light in a very dark space, a little bit of light carries a long way. And so you're not able to make out details of all of these things, but you can see that the general slope of the island, it's like a bunch of bumps, almost like an egg carton would look. Like a bunch of raised bumps over the top of it. And the hoard piles are obviously matching that. And it could just be piles of gold, but they're very regular. It seems like maybe they're intentional to be that way. But that is what you see. As your light is kind of stuck there, lighting up the other side of things, I'm going to add to the tension pool just because we put light in a dark room. You may carry on.
All right.
Hey,
This
Jeb,
is,
man, is this thing waterproof?
The
The
what?
device pointing toward Fox.
As far as I know. I don't think I've ever tested ciphers in water.
Why wouldn't they work
It
in
probably
water?
would.
Shale asks.
It probably does.
Since it is magical, I doubt that it would encounter the same non-conductive issues that electricity would have in water.
All right, just checking, man.
No, yeah, that makes sense. That's an interesting question to ask about, and I would love to see whether I hope it works.
Fox, above you, you heard a very distant muffled chink as that crossbow bolt hit the island.
Jeb,
For our
in my head,
audio
is that
listeners,
you?
he's looking up.
Jeb, in my head, is that
So-
you?
So that the half bloody and mud caked Jeb is thinking right now, or is kind of paranoid. and I'm wondering if those bumps and stuff are a creature.
Did you wonder that out loud?
Yeah.
I
think
there's
that
the
arrow
the
would've-
table is on top of the island too, right?
Yes. Massive table.
I doubt that a creature would be carrying that massive table. I perhaps feel as though if maybe the bumps of gold are actually covering the individual holes of prisoners, perhaps.
Mm.
Good idea, man. We should get over there and find out.
That sounds
I
pretty
agree.
weird. It's probably not true.
Zoth would like to use the vines, like, to steady himself across.
Okay.
Alan's gonna try to straight swim through.
Okay. Alan, roll athletics to see how far you cross the first time. Remember, if you're trained in athletics, you get to move double your roll in feet.
So double my roll in feet for this is 24 feet.
Okay. And Zothkug, just roll athletics to pull yourself across the... Or you don't need to roll athletics because you're taking the easier way. So it's just half your move speed because it's difficult terrain, which I think is 15 for you.
Yep.
You're going to need to track how many feet you have crossed out of the 100 because I'm not going to remember them
Okay.
for each of you.
That's fine.
Jeb, are you also attempting to cross the lake?
Jib's gotten hit pretty hard, and no, I'm going to use another fog step, and I'm just going to teleport across.
Okay. Shale makes it 3 feet, pulling himself by the brambles with his cast on his arm. I'm going to add a tension pool or a tension die to the pool, and I believe that brings us to 6.
No.
No.
Womp womp.
Arnar.
Fortunately, nothing happens.
Arnar.
There's a chance that nothing happens.
Arnar.
Okay, go ahead and roll again for your progress, those of you still in the water.
Jib's gonna sit.
Oh.
I
Jib's
lost
gonna
my
like,
D20. I'll be back. Sorry.
Oh my god.
You're not in the
look
water,
around
Fox.
his surroundings.
Yeah, we'll come back to Jeb here in just a second.
I've traveled 48 more feet.
Nice move. Zothkug, what about you? How far? Oh, another 15.
15.
Yep. And Shale makes it. He's getting up to like a sort of speed now. He also made it 15 feet of traveling across there. And then there's another tension pool. We can go again.
Okay. Alan is across.
Okay.
Halfway. A little under halfway.
Great. Shale is the furthest back. Go ahead and calculate again. I'm going to keep calculating until we hit 6 because Zothkug's moving steady increments. More.
It'll
Man,
take
that
me
looks
6
exhausting.
6 turns.
I'm really glad I
to
didn't
get
do that.
across.
It wasn't too bad.
So
for
6
me.
turns,
When I
you made it to
simply
the other
swam.
side.
In like from when I started, it took 6 turns to get across.
Okay, so only Shale is in the water for this second rolling of the tension die. Shale is moving his way towards you, and then something behind him begins to surface out of the water.
Oh,
And then in just a quick as a flash, single splash motion, Shale is gone.
Did he have to make a save for that?
Yes.
Can I have noticed that and force a chronal shift for him to
Sure.
to either re-roll that save or for the creature to attack?
Absolutely. You can force a shift for him to reroll the save. So he's re-rolling it. Unless does that I'm not sure how chronal shift works. Do you need to do any rolling or does it just happen?
No, it's my reaction that causes a creature. Well, it says within 30 feet. I don't know if it's within 30 feet or not.
He's probably within 30 feet by now. He's basically crossing the water. I rolled all of his distances and turns and stuff.
Okay.
So sure.
So it forces a re-roll, an attack, a ability check, or a save
Great.
on a
So you
creature that I
force
can see within 30 feet.
So you force a reroll of his save. Let's see how he does.
what's that?
The creature surfaces out of the water, and in a single splash movement, Shale is gone. And then after about 30 seconds, Shale erupts from the water, his dagger in hand, streaming blood, as the creature, now eyeless, spits him out. He flies the remaining 30 feet towards you and takes a bunch of fall damage on impact and falls
try and catch him.
unconscious. Oh, okay. Roll strength to catch him. He's moving at high speed.
It's not going to be good, but it's
Yeah, say Jeb
might
is a
take
tiny
something.
guy.
Yeah.
That's an 8.
All right. You cushion him. I'll take 1d6 of fall damage off for you to cushion him and give it to you. You can take
Yeah, I can
1d6
take
of
that.
damage.
that.
And he, oh my gosh, but he rolled max damage on the remaining 3 and he still falls
Jeb
unconscious.
just holds his arms out.
Yeah.
It's just like boom.
He's not dead, but he is unconscious. As he just like lands with a crunch on Jeb. Fox, you hear, and then something sliding, across what sounds like a bunch of different metal objects, all like skidding up above you.
Hello?
You all hear whatever Fox says, but very, very muffled.
1 second, Fox. I think I'm gonna pull out a plant and cast Cure Wounds on him.
Voices?
Alan will begin digging at his best guess of what pile of gold it sounds like Fox is under.
Sure. Roll a d6. Alan.
Okay.
While he's
Are
doing
those-
that, Jeb is going to grab the cipher from Zoth while Zoth is like patching up
Okay.
or like, working on.
Are those voices outside my head?
I rolled a 4.
Okay.
We're coming for you, pup.
Jake, it's so funny to me that you said that early because I was just about to say, unless Jake rolls a 4, it points you to a pile of gold next to Alan, but you rolled a 4, so you're at the right pile.
Let's go.
So it leads you to the same pile that Alan is digging in. And you, I am assuming you're just going to help him dig too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Got the mole claws
Yep.
at the ready. Just
So you toss aside probably priceless, vases and tiaras and all sorts of different like masterwork items and crazy and gold by the gazillion. You're just digging
I don't
through the
even
two
care.
of you working together, the mole and the barbarian racing to see who's better at digging through piles of junk. And then after about probably 5 minutes of digging, which to you, Fox, sounds like the world itself has become white noise reverberating around you. At the end of
God.
your digging, you finally find like a stone circle with slits in it for air to come through. And through those slits, the faintest amount, you can see Fox underneath it with his hands over his ears, or her ears, because she still looks like the dwarf princess. But she is just like in this cell, kind of backed up into a corner. And at the same moment as you find Fox, Zothkug is reviving Shale. How much did you revive him for?
8 health.
8 health. Okay, so Shale like takes like a breath and wakes up from his unconsciousness and goes, "Did we find them?" And then all of you at the same time hear.
I'm glad we're all together.
And on that note, tonight's Dungeons and Dragons session comes to a close. Thanks everybody for watching at Wing Badger Gaming. We are glad you're here. We love and appreciate your influence on the adventure with the tension pull and all the different spells you can cast. Wash Brunello, when's the next time we can see you live?
ooh, that's going to be tomorrow. We're going to be finishing up Zelda 3.
Zelda
and
3.
Hopefully jumping into our next game, which will be
Nice.
super fun.
That sounds amazing. And Jake, what are we doing on Wednesday?
We're playing Halo.
Heyo. Halo.
We're playing Halo.
If you want to just hang out, have some good memes, some good vibes, you should join us on Wednesday
That sounds great.
right here at Wing Badger Gaming.
Sorry, I do have something I have to give news-wise as well.
Ooh,
Let's go.
this man's got news.
So we're gathered here today to celebrate the short life of let me make sure I say this right. Big Steel on YouTube. They were great. They joined us here. We all knew them very well by the messages they gave us in chat. They inspired us to be much better role players. But sadly, they discovered that the gaming farm username is in fact me, Matt. And the shock of it killed them.
No.
You know what, Matt? You're right. This has been really gut-wrenching for me, too. I feel like one of the best things we could do is to just look back on some of our favorite Big Steel on YouTube memories, just for the nostalgia of it. And what really sticks out to me is when Big Steel on YouTube said, asterisk dies asterisk. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember those good times?
My favorite personally was question mark, 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 question mark. That was my
Oh, wow.
favorite
Those
memory.
were
That
good
was a pretty good.
touching
I'm gonna
times.
tell you, it really brought a tear to my eye when he said, "We, Jeb, go we."
Such deep words. I
I know.
mean,
It's such
It was
beautiful
me.
time.
it was so soon.
Before his time, really.
You know, and
Brilliant flower.
Tragic.
can we think about those wise words? He asks himself every day, "What am I? What is life?"
And,
These are wise words.
and we all ask ourselves, what am I and what is life?
And question mark, 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 question mark.
I have one other actual announcement to make, but this has been great, and I don't want to feel like I'm stealing. Like it's always awkward when you have to like at the end of a funeral like give an announcement. Like people are like, oh yeah, like how long do I let the reverie go on? But like I'm trying to figure like how well did we really know? I'm just kidding. But I want you to know that there's something really cool coming up at Wing Badger Tavern. Something that we have been talking about doing for ages, but haven't had a cool opportunity to do it. We are giving Wash Brunello the reins to run a 2 or 3 part, basically one-off adventure in our campaign. But wait, with some of our most engaged viewers. So we're going to be joined on stream by Belly Savalas and by 1d10 force damage, as well as our very own Trevor and Jake, to take part in an adventure that Wash will be running. Matt and I will not be present. We will be in a different country doing important classified business.
About what,
we're doing important classified business for the well-being of our nation.
Other country business.
Other country business. Yeah.
You might remember me from the hit show, Wing Badger Gaming.
That's right.
You might remember me from the hit movie that was also critically acclaimed, Morbius. Sorry, go ahead.
Ooh. So anyway, I just am excited about that. Wanted to let you know that's coming. That'll be starting the first Monday in May, or in June might be the first week of that. Anyway, it's like end of May, early June that's going to kick off. It's going to be rad, and we're so excited about it. I'm thinking maybe in the next few weeks we'll have Wash tease just a little bit of the premise of the adventure, at the end of sessions. I think that'd be really fun.
Sprinkle it in.
Yeah, just sprinkle it in there,
Oh, sprinkle.
It's going to happen in May 30th.
My party.
May 30th.
Yeah.
My 30th.
But until then, from all of us here at Wing Badger Gaming, a rowdy GG's and a loving memory-filled GN for Big Steel on YouTube. Bye, everybody.